Yes, my lord. On my way. Ready to serve. On my way. Ready to serve. On my way.
Sir Galahad can call down the angels to fight on his side with the help of a secret litany. His army is invincible as long as this litany exists. You have to find every piece of knowledge you can about this scroll or artifact. Then you must destroy it. You would be advised to start in the heart of the Saxon kingdom, Norfolk. Norfolk is a busy and lively stronghold. Due to their strict isolation from Britannia, the Saxons have heard about the chaos tearing apart the realm, but they've never experienced the destruction. The city guards stand nonchalantly in the shade of the gate and don't pay you any attention. You walk around in the stronghold with a warrior from the Guild of Outlaws at your side. It might take a few days to find the whereabouts of the litany and discover how it could be destroyed, so you will need a place to stay in the meantime. The innkeeper watches you closely, but in the end he nods towards the maid who shows you to your rooms. You agree on the price and you pay for 5 days in advance to gain the trust of this mistrustful man. After you have made yourselves as comfortable as possible in the circumstances, you think over your options. Galahad had some high-ranking knights from the Order of Beowulf incarcerated. These knights, or the trusted men of Galahad, will surely know where to find the litany. According to the warrior from the Guild of Outlaws, it will not be hard to find the right men, but you will need a map of the dungeon, and it wouldn't hurt to aid them with magic while they try to sneak in. The agent of the Guild of Outlaws acquires a map of the dungeon quite easily. You begin to come up with a plan, and it takes a long time, but by the evening you have a seemingly workable method of freeing the knight. You take your rest and wait for the right time. The band of warriors returns at dawn. It must have been a very tough assignment, as only half of them come back, and even the survivors are injured. A seriously injured warrior of the guild tells you what happened. They were attacked by the guards on their way out with the knight, so they had to fight. Fortunately, the prisoner is right as rain, so you can start interrogating him about the litany immediately. To your great surprise, you learn that the litany is neither a book nor a stone tablet engraved with ancient runes. but a 20-year-old maiden who was raised in a Christian monastery. The litany is her song, which calls the angels to help her in need. The girl lives in the monastery of a cathedral near Norfolk. She is not under strong guard, but the believers of the old faith can't enter without risking their lives. Galahad and the Knights of Beowulf thought that this will be enough to protect her in the heart of the kingdom. While you think about what you have heard, you hear the heavy thuds of boots and the rattle of weapons. The door violently slams open and city guards storm the room. Looks like you were too obtrusive. You throw the oil lamp on the table at the wall, and while the soldiers are distracted by the flames, you escape through the window. On the street, you immediately disappear into the crowd and leave through the gate. It's time to find the cathedral. The cathedral stands at the top of a hill with a monastery adjoining it. The buildings look abandoned and old. Considering what you have heard, it might be dangerous for you to get close to the cathedral, so you might have to have the girl kidnapped. You set fire to the building in several places and deal with the knights and monks easily when they try to flee. When you glimpse a screaming girl in the chaos, you grab her. You get on your horses quickly and ride to an abandoned manor house to decide the fate of the maiden. You simply can't kill this beautiful maiden. She's ignorant of the terrible games that powerful forces are playing with her. But you can't leave her here either. You quickly tell her the truth, and although she's terrified, she follows you out of the monastery. You roam the Saxon marshlands for days and avoid the patrolling knights by walking only by night. Finally, you reach the border of the kingdom and leave the Christian lands. Your spell was absorbed. Your magic shield is fading. The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your spell was absorbed. The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy started to capture one of your locations. The enemy hero is casting a spell. 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 Your spell was absorbed. The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your magic shield is fading. The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your units are in danger. Your magic shield is fading. Your units are in danger. Your men are going to die. Your soldiers are going to die. Your units are in danger. Your hero is in grave danger. Your soldiers are going to die. Your units are in danger. Your soldiers are going to die. Your units are in danger. The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your magic shield is under normal strength. Your spell was absorbed. The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your spell was absorbed. Your spell was absorbed. The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your magic shield is fading. The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy started to capture one of your locations. Enemy units have captured a location. The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy hero is casting a The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy hero is casting a The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your unit is going to die. Your units are in danger.
On my way.
Your wish? On my way!
Yes, my liege. On my way. On my way.
The Saxon lands harbor ancient She monuments, seething with arcane power that the Christian zealots have suppressed for many long years. You must revive these towers and let loose the powers of the old faith to aid you in your upcoming battle. The Wanderers and the Guild of Outlaws have sent help, and you can also take 6 knights from your army with you. You find the she-towers close to each other on abandoned land of a Saxon lord who returned to the religion of his ancestors. The towers are black and lifeless, but you sense a faint spark of magic in the stones. The Wizard of the Wanderers finds the druids hiding nearby. Finding the village turns out to be easier than you thought. You only have to follow the columns of smoke. The village is in ruins and the huts have burned down. You examine the footprints and you are certain that a dozen knights attacked the village and took many prisoners. You follow the tracks easily for a while, but unfortunately you lose them in the marshland. You can only say for certain that the Saxons were heading west, but you can't risk the success of this quest on a hunch. You need more than that. The wizard tries various arcane methods, but his magic is simply too weak to find the Saxons. He can only say for certain that the Saxons were heading west, but you can't risk the success of this quest on a hunch. You need more than that. Dusk is falling and you still haven't found anything. You listen to the returning knights in a somber mood. You wait up for the last two until midnight. Only one of them returns with grave injuries. A bear killed the other knight. The survivor saw campfires beyond the hills. You reach the first row of tents in dead silence. Then you survey your surroundings. The camp is empty. You don't see any guards, horses, or prisoners. The Saxons must have suspected your arrival, and they left in a hurry. You walked right into a trap. The Saxons were hiding in the tents. In the ensuing chaos, you lose 2 knights, but finally you overcome the Christian warriors. You rescue the druids and the villagers. The rejoicing is cut short by the appearance of one of your knights, who reports that a large band of Saxon riders are approaching, at least 50 knights. You send the villagers away to the woods, then set off for the towers with the druids. Close to the first tower, you find fresh hoof marks in the mud. You leave your horses in the woods and sneak closer to the building where you see dozens of Saxon knights. You will need to deal with them too before your pursuers arrive. The ambush takes the knights by surprise, but they still put up stiff resistance. Eventually you overcome the Saxons, but you lose a knight. The druids tend to the wounded, then you enter the tower. The she-tower is a colossal tooth of stone and crystal, and the wall bears faint arcane markings. The hall is empty but for a collapsed spiral staircase. But you can block the door with a debris. It should hold up your pursuers until the druids revive the magic of the tower. In the rear of the hall, a narrow set of stairs leads down into the darkness. There must be a cellar down there. The stairs descend to a dank cellar, where you see a skeleton and plenty of wine barrels. This is so unusual in a she-tower that it immediately raises your suspicions. You take a good look around and find a tunnel leading into the darkness, most probably to the other tower. The druids are singing and chanting, and you feel the surge of arcane energies flowing from the pentacle into the faint cracks of the wall. The tower slowly begins to shimmer and hum, then suddenly you hear a loud thud from the door. The Saxons have arrived. The she-tower is seething with arcane energies, and you know that the Saxons will be unable to smother the revival of the ancient ruin, which means that you can leave them behind. You follow the tunnel to the other tower, but here you are defenseless. The druids admit that they can't revive the second tower on their own. They'd need other believers of the old faith with arcane abilities, or they must sacrifice some mighty artifacts or human lives. The druids sing and chant, and you feel the surge of arcane energies flowing into the stones of the wall. The tower slowly begins to shimmer and hum. The Saxons haven't arrived yet, so you reach the horses quickly, then leave. You give heartfelt thanks to the druids. Then you leave the woods, heading towards the border of the Saxon lands to find your army.
The time has come. Now you can move against King Galahad and seize his shard of the Grail. That is the final task you must face before we heal your father, rebuild Britannia, and hide the Grail forever, before its great powers can lure other powerful forces out of the shadows. Prepare for battle!
Yes, my lord.
On my way!
Yes, my liege. On my way.
Your wish? On my way!
Yes, my
Your
lord.
wish? On my way!
Yes, my liege.
Your spell was absorbed. Your spell was absorbed. The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your magic shield is fading. Your magic shield is fading. The enemy hero is casting a spell. A spell has been cast.
Fire!
Weather conditions changed. The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your magic shield is fading. A spell was cast. A spell has been cast. A spell has been cast. A spell was cast. A spell was cast. A spell has been cast. Your units are in danger. Weather conditions changed. A spell was cast. spell was cast. A spell has been cast. A spell has been cast. The enemy has cast a spell. Your spell was absorbed.